Here's a short tutorial on how to set up your workspace in Photoshop. On the left-hand side of your screen is your Tools menu. When you click on the small arrow, a drop-down box appears, and you can see the tools that are hidden behind the tool that's being shown. When you click on a tool, for example, I'm going to click on History Brush tool, this Options menu will change depending on which tool you're using and what the tool can do. Here we go, and right-click, and we're going to choose Quick Selection Tool, and you can see the tool that we're familiar using with when we crop backgrounds, the minus and the plus, and other options that we can use with that tool. As you continue to use Photoshop, you will use more of the tools, and you will understand more of what those tools do by manipulating your Options menu. Photoshop provides you with the most options for editing photographs. Sometimes it's challenging to learn how to use it, however, it often is the best option when you want to colorize or manipulate photographs that you've taken. On the right side is your Palettes menu. Everyone should default to Essentials, so you always want to have your Essentials palette. However, you can change this palette by going up here to Window and selecting different items that you want to put in your palette. For example, I like to have Navigator available to me, and what I want to do is I want to take that and I want to pull that right into my palette. And I'll do that when the line turns blue. I can drop that Navigator palette right in there. The next thing that I might want to have open is my history. And I might want to have my history right here above the Navigator. And now I can have my history and my Navigator right here so I can see everything I've done up to that point. So if I want to change a step or delete a step, I can go into history and find out what I did, and I can look at my Navigator to find out where I'm at. I can also pull things out. For example, this says color and this says swatches. So I can pull out the color tab right next to the swatch tab, and I can now see color and I can see swatch. And if you notice, this is this. And so as I select foreground and I change that color, I can go ahead and change that color. And if you notice here, and I click OK, that color is going to change. And here it is changed here, and here it is changed here. If you want to go back to your default color, all you need to do is click on the black and white. If I want to change that color, depending on whether I want to change foreground or background, you can go ahead and change that color by moving your swatch tabs around. Now, I'm going to load an image here, and I want you to watch the Navigator tool and see what happens as I load my image into Photoshop. I think I'll pick the shoe. So I can see it here, and I can see it now in my Navigator. And that is also helpful so you can understand what you've done to get to that point. So this is a great way to set up your workspace so it's uncluttered and easy for you to use. Now, when you have your palette the way you like your palette to be, you can go ahead and you can click New Workspace, and you can create your new workspace. And I'm going to name this R Leva, and I'm going to say Save. So if there's more than just you using this computer, which there will be many, many students using this computer, you can set your workspace. And when you come back to your computer, which is important for you to know what number you're using, so when you come back to the computer that you're used to using, you can just go up to your Palettes menu and you could go ahead and reset your palette to the tools that you like. And if you want to go ahead and change that, you can go ahead and you can either delete your workspace, go back to Essentials, or change it in any way you want. But I'd like to stay with my workspace right now. Now, another thing that you can do for your colors is you can change your colors to many different types of ranges. And so we might play with that more when you're going ahead and you're editing your photographs in Photoshop.